If I only had 8 weeks to diet, this is the exact method I would use. I'm Paul, and for the last 12 years, I've taken people from being stuck, frustrated, and out of shape to the best shape of their life. And now it's the exact method I use in Forge that opens at the end of the month. If you want to see what it's about and get priority access for £99 for full 8 weeks of coaching, hit the link in the description below, but I'm gonna walk you through it now. So if I only had 8 weeks to get off as much weight as I possibly could, I'd split them into 3 phases. This is how I set my Forge program up, and I see success every single time. The first 4 weeks we call the fire, and in that 4 weeks I'm going to make sure that my protein is high, my calories are low, and I'm absolutely fucking nailing it. First off, I'm going to set my protein at 2 to 2.5 grams per kilo. Then we're going to calculate calories, which for me is times my body weight by 29 and then taking 500 off it. You can take more off if you carry more fat. Then we're going to set a daily step target. I'm going to take my daily average steps and add 2,000 on. If I didn't have a watch, I'd make sure I went for 30 to 40 minutes of purposeful walking every single day. This fucker gets me out twice a day, but he is not purposeful. Look at him. Nothing. Then I would set myself 1 cardio session per week. I'd make sure that I got 400 calories burned there. I know it's not accurate, you know it's not accurate, but it's a target that we can hit every single time. If you don't want to go to the gym and don't want to do it there, make sure you're going to play a sport or you're going to go and do an activity, and you're going to make sure that that lasts 45 to an hour. I'd encourage doing a sport. I use cricket and makes it a hell of a lot easier. From a conservative estimate, we're looking at anywhere up to 1 kilo down per week. This 4 weeks is fucking harsh, but the number on the scale is not the point. In the grand scheme of things, we want to look better, feel better, fuck better, whatever it may be. So alongside all the calorie stuff, there's 4 habits that I would always promote getting into, regardless of what you're aiming. Number 1 is having the same meal timings every single day. That gives you anchor points for your day, and it makes a hell of a difference everything else that you build your day around. Secondly is sleep timings, making sure that you've got a purposeful bedtime and a purposeful wake up time that you stick to 95% of the time, within an hour each way. Weight training 3 times a week is a bare minimum, like with intent, going close to failure, trying to get the best out of it, and making sure that you fucking care about it. If you don't have a program, there's links in the description below, you can get free ones. Number 4 is making sure that 80 to 90% of your meals come from the same bunch of ingredients. Having the same protein sources, same carb sources, and then making sure that you're loading up on high quality, nutrient dense food that is high in volume. You do that for 4 weeks, that's it. It's hard, never gonna say it's easy. It will take it out of you, but it forces habits to be developed quickly. And when you start to see your shape change, and when you start to see the scale come down, and when you start to see you lifting a little bit heavier, and you're starting to realize that actually, fucking hell, I can do this. Motivation and momentum are a big thing here. And all of that carries weight into phase 2 and 3. I'm now halfway through the 8 weeks, I'm 4 or 5 kilos down, and my habits are all built. I'm not gonna care if it's hard because I'm seeing the result. But then we get to phase 2. Now phase 2 is a bit of a reset. I call it the bucket. You come straight into the fire, into the bucket, and this is a week-long diet break. We bring you up to maintenance, but that's calculated on your new maintenance, what you weigh now, rather than what you weigh at the start. And all those extra calories come from carbohydrate. Now you might be asking yourself, but Paul, why would you increase food? Think back to every single diet you've done. The fact that you're listening to this and you're searching for a new diet shows me that you've not ever kept the result. Did you hit your goal? Did you go back to eating normally immediately afterwards and then gain all the way back? That's the pattern we're gonna break. That's the pattern I'm trying to break with you right now. The goal isn't to lose weight over the next 8 weeks. It's to not be back at square one where you're in a position where you look in the mirror and fucking hate yourself. Diet breaks are a gimmick, and they're arguably one of the best tools you can use throughout a diet. There's 2 major studies that we use that I'm gonna show you the cliff notes of. First off, when you include diet breaks in your diet, you will lose up to 50% more fat than those people who don't. Then, because you've practiced maintenance 6 months after you finish dieting, you'll have lost 90% more fat than those people who haven't. Now, if you ask me, that's pretty good. But we don't stop there. Not only are we practicing maintenance, but throughout that diet break, you're gonna have better training performance, better hormone regulation, you're gonna have better sleep, you're gonna feel less fucking tired, less fatigue. You're gonna have more get up and go, more motivation, lower hunger, lower food noise, and lower stress. All of which means that losing weight whilst on a diet break isn't out of the realms of possibility, because you'll just lose water. But the big kicker here is if in 4 weeks I told you that you've got a week where you get more food, so you can grin and bear for 4 weeks before it, you're more likely to do it. So adherence increases massively. One of the main reasons that you've always gone back to square one is because diet fatigue has increased, and diet breaks quell that. Throughout the diet break, my training would stay the same because I'm gonna get a massive benefit from having those extra carbohydrates. We're now 5 weeks down, and for the most part, you're gonna be 5 to 6 kilos down. Now, the last 3 weeks, is phase 3, the hammer. This is where we change our diet. Instead of dieting for 7 days flat every single week, you now only diet for 5 days. You have 2 days at the maintenance calories that we've just calculated in phase 2, and 5 days, 500 calories less than that maintenance value. Those 2 days will go on days where you have less anchor points. Like I discussed in phase 1, you have all those timings. Most of those timings are going to be dictated by work through social activity. On a weekend, typically you're going to have more time, so you're going to have less anchor points and therefore more likely to overeat. So have some more calories. Makes it a lot easier for you. But on those 2 days, we're still practicing maintenance. We're still developing those skills. Phase 3 is where training becomes more about progressive overload, more about intensity. We've got those extra carbohydrates on a weekend, let's fucking utilize them. We want to be retaining as much muscle and potentially building as much muscle as we can. So my training for the last 3 weeks of this 8-week period will always increase with intensifiers, drop sets, myo reps, lengthened partials, and some forced reps. We're trying to maximize mechanical tension, going to failure as often as we can, putting the muscle under as much stress so that it has to come back bigger, stronger, better. And we're trying to spike that muscle protein synthesis. Like I said, this 8 weeks isn't about reducing your weight to the lowest number possible. It's about giving you the foundations to be physically stronger, having better habits to both diet and train with. And that's the 3 phases. That's 8 weeks. And that's exactly how Forge is set up. Here's the truth. Every fat loss phase you've ever done before has always either come back with a vengeance or fizzled out after a couple of weeks. I built Forge to break that cycle, building habits that last, using that phased approach, teaching you how to maintain your calories for as long as it's needed, and being able to enjoy the foods that you actually want within that time frame. So picture it, 8 weeks of hard graft, 8 kilos down, using this exact method with one small difference. You have the accountability to me every single week. 2 contact points a week, you'll be surprised at how much difference that makes. I will walk you through the whole thing. And right now in the link in the description, you'll get early bird discount with the priority at £99. That's fucking cheap. If not, you can use what's in this video, and the fat loss blueprint is in the description below if you do want access to that. If you found it helpful, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.